Welcome to Work From Your Happy Place, the podcast that equips you with the tools, know-how, and motivation to live your dreams and find your happy place. Be sure to sign up for our free weekly newsletter for a recap of the week's guests and a preview of what's in store. To sign up, simply text the word Happy Place with no space to 33444. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce the host of Work From Your Happy Place, Belinda Ellsworth.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's show, Work From Your Happy Place. I'm Belinda Ellsworth, and I'm so excited. We have a great show in store for you today. I have the pleasure of having with me Melissa Terrell. Melissa has over 1,400 people in her organization, which is one of the largest organizations in Premier Designs. She has over 200 leaders in her downline. Melissa has personally held over 1,300 jewelry shows. She has 3 amazing children, 2 married daughters, and a son who has recently graduated from college. They have 5 grandchildren under the age of 5, and Melissa has been a national speaker and trainer for Premier Designs for the past 28 years. She works this business alongside her husband and partner, Greg, and it's my pleasure to welcome both Melissa and Greg Terrell to the show today. Welcome, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, her wonderful husband, Belinda.
Yes, there you go.
Okay.
Hey, Belinda, thank you so much for having us on today. We are just beyond excited.
Well, I am so excited too. You have been certainly 2 of my favorite people in the industry that I've had the pleasure of working with over the last 20 years. So it's just a real honor to have you here today.
Thank you.
You have taught us a lot. We have enjoyed you so much through the years.
That's right.
Thank you. Well, why don't you fill our listeners in a little bit? Tell them a little bit about more about yourselves and your business.
Sure. Well, I had taught school right out of college and married Greg, and then was, at the time I heard about Premier, we had 2 little ones. So we had a 3.5 and a 6-month-old. And, you know, I wasn't looking for anything necessarily, but we certainly could have used extra income just to kind of round out the funds at the end of the month. So that was probably the most attracting thing to us to consider the business. And I wasn't really the type to do a show, never sold anything. But, you know, I'm just so thankful looking back now that I was just open to the idea of hearing about it, and so very thankful. So my background is in teaching, and I, love teaching. But for me, I personally just wanted to be that stay-at-home mom and try to be as involved as I could with our family. So that's just a little bit about us before Premier. And again, just jumped into it, not knowing anything, and it's just so incredibly blessed by what all Premier has been able to do for us and our family.
Now, Greg has done this business alongside of you for almost the entire time.
Yes, so thankful for that. So,
right.
Greg, tell everybody what you were doing.
Well, I was a stockbroker at Merrill Lynch, and Melissa started doing this on the side, and her business started growing. I started helping her. And really the way I helped her was just talking to other people, bragging about my wife. Everybody knows how wonderful she is. But I mean, this business, she was doing amazing. I guess what really caught my ear is the friend that told us about this said they had made over $40,000 their first year. And I was like, you did what? Selling jewelry? And so Melissa ended up doing that. She did that her first year, more than tripled that the next year. And I just saw the potential in this thing, and so I've just been working her alongside with her, and have loved it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit then. You've kind of already hinted toward it. So tell us a little bit about how this business has shaped your lifestyle, because you've really grown up with it, if you will, and so has your family.
We cannot even believe it's been 28 years. It's just flown by, but really, it has just given us incredible freedom, mainly with how we've chosen to live and with our family, incredible flexibility. And I really do believe that's what most women especially are looking for, is that element of flexibility, that they can have that in their jobs. And of course, financially, oh my goodness, it has done so much, kids in private school and all their gazillion activities that they were involved in, while they were in school. And then, getting to go to the college of their choice, which by the way, they chose a very expensive college. And then the weddings and all that's been great, honestly. But I think the best thing that has shaped
and it was all cash. We all paid cash for
that's been awesome. But, the thing that has shaped our family is just working at home, working from home, and letting our family, our kids see that you can really work hard at something and have a blast doing it. We've had so much fun, and our kids have seen that.
Still having fun.
To see how much fun you can have just investing in the lives of others. And so for that, I am very, very thankful that our kids have been able to see us firsthand working as a team, with Greg and I together, but just loving on people and just investing in their lives. And I'm proud to say that they are now functioning adults and living great lives. And that has been such a blessing. And that was what our heart's desire was to begin with.
Right.
So isn't that awesome that this kind of business can provide that?
Yes, it's so awesome. So now I want to know what 2 of your greatest skill sets are that you think that have helped contribute to your overall success.
Well, I'm a firm believer, honestly, in the fact that I'm glad you said skills, because I really do believe that skills can be taught. Anybody can learn these skills, the skills, Belinda, that you teach in your seminars. Oh my goodness, you are such a great teacher, and teaching people all of these skills, they can be taught.
That's right.
They have to be caught, and then they have to be done in their own lives over and over again. My skill set is also, I think, being a teacher. Just being a teacher and teaching the verbiage that's so critical for women to learn in this business, and just empowering people. What I've learned through these years, there's such a difference in encouraging people and empowering people. And it's got to be a combination of both, really. That encouraging is kind of when you just say to people, hey, you can do this. You go, girl. Man, you can do it. That is true encouragement. I've done it. You can do it too. Come on, you just do it. You hear that, a lot of people saying that. A lot of leaders do that with their people. They just say, just do it. But they don't really tell them how to do it and teach them the skills to do it. And I think that's where I've been stronger in, just, again, because of my teaching background, the gift of teaching, and that is just empowering. And here, empowering is when you tell them how to do it, you show them how to do it, you teach them the verbiage of how to do those things. Then you send them off with tons of encouragement to go and do. And it's not that one-time shot. They don't just learn it by you just telling them once. It's tweaking constantly the skills that they are learning. And I think the other thing is just letting your leaders lead. I see, again, so many times leaders, especially in upper levels, they want to do it all for their people. And they want everybody to look to them as the main big dog leader. But truly, it's just, letting your leaders, training them and empowering your leaders to lead as well. That's when you get to that level, that's when you can really start to see it just blossom, because you can only do so much, and you can only be spread so thin. And I'm just so blessed with incredible leaders, that we love on, that we empower to lead, and then we let them lead and let them go and teach and empower and encourage their people. Because through time, our business has just blossomed all across the United States. That wasn't something that we necessarily got in to do. It just happened as people, brought other people into the business from all over the country. It just spread out. And so you can only be in, one place at one time. So that's why you have to really empower other people.
And I think Melissa also has what I would call a believability factor. When she's training these people, she's training them of what's best for them. She's not, do this for me. She's doing it for them. And so she has a believability factor that is a 10 or higher. As far as, and people sense that when you're with her. If you're a leader, people sense, are you in it for yourself? Or are you in it for them? And Melissa has really shown over the years that she's in it to help and serve other people.
Oh, thanks, honey. I really do want people to get whatever they want to get out of their own business. And I think that does come through. So hopefully it does. But I think I would say just teaching and loving on those people.
That's awesome. All right. So now I want you to share with us, because I think everybody's been there, a challenge or an obstacle that you faced at some point in your career and just how you worked through that. Or maybe it's the obstacles on a daily basis and how you choose to work through those. Maybe one of each, whichever one comes to mind.
Well, it's funny when you said obstacles, I thought first about when I started in this business. And where a lot of people are just trying to figure out the balance in their family life and trying to figure out how to do that. I've always said I've worked my business in the nooks and crannies of my life, because that is the truth. There are times when I just zoom and I go nonstop. And then there's times when I just pull back just because of whatever else is going on in your family, in your life. And certainly through 28 years of doing this, I've ebbed and flowed through a lot of different challenges and a lot of different obstacles. But, I know when my kids were little, that was my first obstacle, was trying to figure out how to do this business around them. Oh, my goodness, I can't tell you how many times I just prayed that they would take a nap. A nap was a good thing because I could run, go get on the phone and work my business. So I did a lot of that planning. That's where Greg stepped in and helped a lot as well with our family life and our structure, trying to figure out the boundaries we had. And then I would say getting a lot of help. We did. We figured out, I tried not to worry too much about how I was going to work this business when even it would continue to grow bigger, because I always believed that I would figure it out. It would work. And I think that's the thing. What I've learned as well is that your desire to succeed really has to be stronger than whatever challenges or obstacles that you face. I used to say that quote a lot because I used to always hear it, and I love it this way. I used to always hear, your desire to succeed has to be greater than your fears. But I think a lot of us cannot really wrap around or admit maybe what some of those fears are. But you know what? They sure can tell you what their obstacles are and their excuses and why they can't do this business because of yada, yada, yada. But, I realized, your desire to succeed truly has to be greater than whatever that challenge or that obstacle is at that moment that you're trying to work your business. And everybody can figure it out. And I can't walk into your shoes and do it for you, much less figure it out for you. I can give you some ideas and suggestions, and I can certainly connect you with maybe someone else that is going through a similar challenge or an obstacle. And I think that's a key. So, for example, a single mom. I have not walked in the shoes of a single mom doing this type of business. But, I know that there are so many incredible singles working this business in such a phenomenal way, in our company, and I'm sure in many other companies. And so to connect them maybe with another single mom that's doing this, that has figured out, is so very helpful. So I think that's, I never could figure out why some people would say, well, I work a full-time job and I'm trying to do this business. Or they would say, or I'm a stay-at-home mom and I'm trying to work this business. And so I just think a lot of it is you can figure out how to do this business around whatever obstacle it is that you have, or a challenge. And, you have to sometimes just dig down deep and really find out your particular why. And why did you decide to do this business? And cling to that, because that is what's going to be the most motivating factor for you when you do come across challenges and obstacles, which that is life, and we are all going to have them. There are times when you are just flat out not going to feel like doing this business.
Well, a lot of times people have asked us over the years, and especially Melissa, how many hours a week do you do this?
Ooh, that's a hard question.
And our whole philosophy is whatever it takes. I mean, sometimes it's from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed at midnight or 1 a.m, whatever. And sometimes it's not. So it's just whatever it takes to get it done, we get it done.
That is right. So I just want to encourage everybody listening to really know that all of us have obstacles and challenges. But if you will keep your why before you, why you decided to do this business, and I promise that that is what's going to motivate you to pick up the phone and make those calls and to get out of your comfort zone and do all kinds of wonderful things that you're going to be doing in your business.
That's awesome. And I think that's really great advice, and I hope that people will really take heed of that. I know I get all the time, I'm afraid to be successful, and I find that very difficult. That's the challenging one for me. I'm like, what are you afraid of? Like, how exciting is it? And you're not even there yet. So how can you be afraid of something that hasn't even happened? Why don't you let it happen? They're like, well, what am I going to do if I get this much business? I go, well, man, get that much business and we'll figure it out.
Exactly.
So it always is amazing to me that is a challenge, that people are actually afraid of what they'll do if they're successful. I'm like, you'll get help and you'll find other people and you'll do all kinds of things. But my goodness, don't let that be the obstacle that stops you from going after your dream.
Right.
Getting help is a good thing. Belinda, it was funny, just, 3 weeks ago even, I was making my calls for my own personal business, trying to get it rolling because, the company always puts out a wonderful thing to win. And as a leader, I think it's so important to set the example of trying to go for those things and lead in that way too. And so here I was facing my own challenges for my own personal business. And I had to dig down so deep and just, fuss about it to Greg. I vent, to him anyway. And I just, okay. What am I going to do? This isn't happening fast enough. And so I was just reminded again to sometimes you will work your tail off. And sometimes it's just not panning out at that moment.
But you got to keep doing the activities.
But you got to keep moving forward and doing those activities. And now I'm in a happy place. Now I'm rolling and going great guns. But, I had to start it again and get it going again. And it requires a lot of soul searching and a lot of self-talk to, again, convince yourself that what you are doing is worth it.
So what does working from your happy place mean to you, Melissa?
This question.
Well, I know, but I'm going to go ahead and ask you.
Oh, well, it's a happy place when you're rolling and doing great in this business, honestly, because, a happy place is when you feel good about what you're doing. And I think what makes me feel the best is when I feel like I'm helping other people. Mm-hmm. And when I feel like I am helping them make a difference in their business and in their life. And I tell you, my little hot button is when somebody says to me, I'm so thankful that you shared this business with me. I mean, that just is the ultimate for me. When I see that they get it and they understand that there is a reason and a purpose for them being in the company that they have chosen. And, I love that. I love serving.
And I think one of the great things about Premier, the company we're with, is it's based on the biblical principles of honoring God and serving people. And so that's what we want to do in our lives. And we're with a company that does that. And I love being a part of that, where the focus is not on us. It's the focus on helping and serving other people. And that is when we're both in our happy place. Yeah.
It really is, because that's at the end of the day, I just think that's what makes it all worth it. So that is my happy place.
That's awesome. It's interesting because I've been doing all this research on what it means to be happy. And one of the top 5 characteristics or qualities that these are the top 5 things that all happy people sort of have in common. And they're things that people should strive for because they find it brings joy and happiness. And one of those top 5 things is giving and serving others. And so it's really interesting that is certainly what it means to you, but that is definitely one of those top 5. And that's fun.
I think too, we were taught from day one in our business through some great mentors, that it was all about serving, and then I guess the best definition to me of serving is when you give and you just expect nothing in return. And that's when you can honestly know your motives are pure and that you are just doing it not for yourself or not for any personal gain, but just you are serving just for the fact that you expect nothing in return. And that is the purest definition, truly, of serving. And I'm just so thankful. I've learned so much about that, being a part of this type of business.
That's awesome. So share with us something that you're extremely proud of.
Oh, well, I'm proud that we built a large organization. I am. I'm proud of that because I didn't get in to do that. And it just, I don't want to say, oh, it just happened, because that sounds so flighty. But, I know that we've been blessed. I know that it is all really because of the people. They're really, I believe, the people that God has brought into our lives for a reason and a purpose. But it is truly all about the leaders that have developed, around us. And I'm so thankful and very, very proud of the fact that there is a lot of unity among our leadership. Now, I think the more I hear, that's sometimes unique. And I'm thankful for that. I don't just take it lightly, but we're all basically on the same page. We're all so incredibly different. But the unity is the fact that it's driven by our purpose and our desires to succeed, but our desires to make a difference in other people's lives. And so I think when you can get to that point, when you have unity, it's just a whole nother level.
And we've been that way, I think, since day one. I mean, 28 plus years, there hasn't been really any division. And we've got ladies in 40 states around the country, that sell our jewelry. And there are some awesome, incredible people. When we think of a state, we think of people. We don't think of the state. We think of the people that are there.
And it's really the deep relationships, that we have built. And that takes time of knowing your people, knowing them really well, and developing those relationships with people. That's why we have people that have been with us for a very long time. And it's so very fun to have seen their growth in their businesses, but to know them personally and know their families, that's what is just, so very fun. And we're proud to say that I believe we have a lot of unity. So that's something to work on, and it's worth it, because when you don't have it, you know it. And it's such a kind of a zapper of energy, a wasted energy, when you're not all on the same page. So I would work really hard, if you are a leader listening to this, to work hard to strive for that unity among each other.
Well, that's really interesting. I'm just happy to be bringing these points up because it's the number one criteria of people's happiness, and that is community. It is belonging, whether that be, the community you have with a business, at work, with your church, whether it is community in your literal community, it is your friends, your family, how much time you spend gathering together with other people. And that is a true source of happiness. And you are right. It is unique. And I'm seeing more and more that the groups and companies across the country, the leaders, I should say, that are just doing phenomenally well are the ones that have created a real team spirit, if you will, have really made everyone feel important and have brought everyone together to feel, no matter what they're doing, they're part of the greater purpose. And if you can create that feeling for people that they belong to something bigger than just themselves, man, people will they'll just shine. And it's awesome. So you've shared two really, really great principles in this without us even chatting about it. How about that?
She's really good, isn't she?
Belinda is good. She knows it.
Y'all are both good.
Well, it's true. We've just lived it all, haven't we, Belinda? All these years we've been doing this business. That's how we know this. That's how we
right.
know this. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what advice then would you have to others who want to be entrepreneurs or might want to try their hand at the direct selling industry? What would you offer up as some advice?
Say keep learning and don't quit. Whatever you do, you got to be patient. I love to tell people you learn by doing. And the quicker you do, the faster you learn. And to be teachable. again, Belinda has taught me so very much, about why people book shows, why they want to do all the things that they do, and in this business. And, I'm always learning aspects of this business. So as an entrepreneur, you got to go to training. You got to be teachable and keep learning and growing, moving your business forward. You just can't quit. Absolutely not. And hang on to that dream. What do you want from this? Because you know what? It's going to happen. It will happen if you are teachable and you keep learning and growing in this business. So that's my biggest advice. I believe it with all my heart. Just don't quit, whatever you do.
Yeah.
And Greg, would you like to add anything to that?
Oh, I think just, perseverance is the biggest thing, because everybody does have obstacles. And, you got to make sure you're in the right company. I mean, make sure that you're in a company where you see the potential of it. Because what I've seen, a lot of people talk about potential, but is it really realistic? So make sure you got the right company, the right product, and the right people.
That's good.
It is. And, that's one of the things that I am a firm believer of: keep learning. And the minute that you stop learning, you stop growing. And I have continued to, I'm an avid reader, and I continue to do surveys and talk to leaders of all different companies so that, I can stay abreast of what's current. And, even this year, it's been a real learning curve for me having to, and it hasn't just been this year, but we've really made a platform of it this year, but is all the online marketing and digital strategies and learning how to combine those with what we know are tried and true strategies that have worked over the years, and learning how to combine those in a way that it meets all people's needs. And yes. I've had to learn that. And it's not been easy for a person who's done this for a very, very long time to certainly have a whole new platform.
That's what I admire about you, Belinda. You are staying up with it.
I certainly am trying, but it's keeping me excited, and it makes people, look to you like you're current, and then people want to grow with you. And that's so important. Whenever I'm feeling down, or I just grab a book, I'm like, I need to grab a book, and people say, oh, is that book really good? Well, you know what? Anybody that takes time to write a book, there's usually one good nugget in there, I'm here to tell you.
Right.
I know. That is so true. Yeah, it's a challenge sometimes for those who've been doing this type of business for a while to keep up. But I'm with you. You've got to keep it going. And all this technology, my take on it is we've got to have that social media and the technology, but with a personal touch.
Yes.
Right.
That's the challenge for us all today in our businesses, because we know it's a personal touch. We know it's a relationship. So how can we make that social media very relational? That's what we're focusing on. Absolutely.
Yep. And we are as well, because it's funny. Facebook parties were all the rage, and now people are going, but how did you have successful ones? And it's like, well, you do it just like a home party. And we're going back and teaching the same strategies, you got a host coach. There isn't anything, there's no easy way out of this. It's just a different platform, but you still bring forth the same absolute strategies of building relationships with people that make that all the difference. Why some people have successful ones and why others don't. It's the same exact principles.
Absolutely. And keeping it fun.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, it has been fun sharing this time with the two of you. You honestly are two of my favorite people. And everything that you've said today, I've seen it in action. And I think that's what's so heartwarming, is that when you're speaking, Melissa, it's like, I know that of you. And you talk about unity, and I know that of your people. And you talk about empowering your leaders, and I know that of your leaders. And it's just been a real heartwarming interview today to have you share and to know that you do everything. You put everything you shared with the folks today in action. And I can certainly attest to that.
Thank you. Thank you for all you're doing for all of us.
Absolutely.
We need you. And we just are so thankful you're doing what you are doing. So
great.
Awesome.
Special blessing on you.
Well, special blessings to the two of you too, and have a fantastic day.
Thanks,
Right.
Linda.
Thanks, Linda.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining us at Work From Your Happy Place. If you like what you hear, please share it with your friends and be sure to rate and review us on iTunes or Stitcher. For a free gift on finding your own happy place, please visit workfromyourhappyplace.com and click on the free audio button. Thanks again for listening.